Hi everyone, it's Danny from Danny's Book Corner, and today I have the Iron number 4 book tag, which was created by my friend Eileen, and I will leave the link to her original post on Tumblr down below. And this tag is based off of the Iron number 4 series by Pittacus Lore, and each question features one of the legacies. So there's 15 questions, so let's get right into it. Okay, so the first question of this tag is Aeternus, a book or series that you read when you were younger or brings on nostalgia. I hope I pronounced that word right. It's Latin, so if you speak Latin, let me know if I pronounced that wrong. But for this one, I chose Maximum Ride by James Patterson because I read this when I was in 4th grade. Yes, I read a young adult book when I was in 4th grade. But this book was just the first book that I really read in the young adult genre, and that opened me up to other books. It made me really be a reader, and also this is the first heroine that I really looked up to. Okay, the second question for this tag is Lumen, a favorite book and or a book that you light up at when you hear it mentioned. And for this one I chose Divergent by Veronica Roth, and I was the first one in my class to read this book, and I got everyone else to read it, and I just loved Tris so much. I looked up to her so much. I just loved everything about this book, and I was so excited for the movie, but I didn't really like the movie, but I loved the book, and whenever I see if someone's reading it or I see someone holding the book, I'm like, oh, Divergent! So number 3 for this tag is Antigravity, a book or series where space is one of the settings, and this book I chose is Red Rising by Pierce Brown, and through this entire series the only setting really is space, because this takes place on Mars, and the whole world of this book is really just the whole solar system. So this space plays a really big part in this series. Number 4 is Dreyen, a book that was exhausting to read, and I chose The Scorch Trials by James Dashner. And out of all the books in the Maze Runner series, I thought this was the most exhausting to read because it didn't really pick up until the very end, and it was just hard to read. It just wasn't much. Number 5 is Externa, a book that pulled you in and made you feel like a part of that world, and I chose The Finisher by David Baldacci. And the world in this book is kind of small, so it was pretty easy to get into it, and it just drew me in right from the get-go. It's really good. Number 6 for this tag is Healing, a book that makes you feel good when you're feeling down, and I chose Percy Jackson and the Olympians by Rick Riordan. And this series just makes me feel so good because Percy's snarky little comments that he makes throughout the series are so funny. It's just so funny, and I just love this series because you can just get lost in this world, and you just love it. I just love it. Number 7 is Invisibility, an underrated book or series, or one that needs more attention. And this one I chose the book that is the name of this tag, and that is Iron number 4 by Pittacus Lore, because not many people read this book. I understand because the actual author, James Frey, there's a little bit of a controversy with him, so I understand that people don't want to support that, but at the same time I read this book before I heard about that, and I was on the 3rd book when I actually heard about that, and I was just too far into the series to give up. But this is so good. This is like an alien science fiction kind of thing, and it's just so good. Number 8 is Shapeshifting, a series that underwent cover changes midway through publication, and that series is Maximum Ride by James Patterson. And I mentioned this book before, but this one did go through major cover changes. So this is the first book, The Angel Experiment, and then we have the second book, School's Out Forever, and Maximum Ride and Saving the World and Other Extreme Sports, and those are the first 3 books. These are the original covers, and they all match. They have the same font, they have the same thing, it's all matches nice. Then we get to the 4th book, The Final Warning, and I'm like, what? But it has this part here that's the same, this font here, but then this is totally different. Then the 5th book changes again with Max, and we're okay. It says the Maximum Ride novel on the bottom in the same font. But then we get to the 6th book, and we have a complete change. This is where we had the complete cover change. All of the new covers look kind of like this. Although, the first one, The Angel Experiment, has the Angel Experiment and has a picture of a girl, Max. I'll put it up. But I don't like the new covers. That's that one. And Angel, same thing. I don't like it. No. And then here we have Nevermore again with the change. What's with the gray hair? Her hair is blonde. I don't understand. And then we have another cover change with the latest book, Forever. And this is just totally different. And also, I have another problem with this series. Not only did we go through a cover change, but we went through a size change. Can we take a moment? All the books are the same size. They're all hardcovers. They're all this size. Then Forever comes and it's taller. Why? Why? Why, publishers? Why? What was it? Little Brown. Why? Number 9 is Underwater Breathing, a book that at first seemed overwhelming at first, but ended up being something you loved. And this one, I have to go with The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. I thought this book is pretty large and has a lot of pages, and the font is really, really small. So I thought I was being really overwhelmed by this book when I saw it, but I ended up really loving it. It's a historical fiction, takes place in World War II in Germany, and follows a girl who is going through the effects of the war at home. Number 10 is Super Speed, a book that you were able to get through very quickly, and this one I chose Confessions, The Paris Mysteries by James Patterson, and yes, this is another James Patterson book. Can you tell I like James Patterson? These books are just so fast to go through. It's like kind of a medium-sized book, but I was able to fly through it because it's just so interesting. Number 11 is Atmokinesis, a book or series that made your emotion go all over the place like a storm of feels. And for this one, I chose the last book in the Maxim Ride series, Forever by James Patterson. And this book, I can't really say much because it's the last book, but of course it's the last book, so you expect something to happen. A lot of things happened. There was character death, and there was just beautiful. It was just beautiful, but I cried. It was just so many feels. I laughed, I cried, I felt everything, just everything. Number 12 is Pyrokinesis, a book or series you wanted to set on fire. Now, I'm not one for book burning, but this book is pretty horrible, and this is Crossed by Ali Kandi. It's the second book in the Match trilogy. I liked Match, and because I liked Match so much, I really love Match. I just expected a lot more from Crossed, and this was just so... I didn't even feel like I got anything. Nothing really was added to the series with this book. It was just so boring. I thought like this could have been condensed and added either probably at the end of Matched or the beginning of Reached. Number 13 is Cryokinesis, a book or series you never wanted to end, and you wanted to stay in the world forever. And this one I'm going to go with Legend by Marie Lu. Especially after the last book, Champion, I just wanted to stay in that book forever. It's just, the world is so great, and I just wanted to stay in that series forever. It's so good. Number 14 in this tag is A Night Vision, a book you stayed up late to read. And this one is Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. I hit like maybe about 3/4 through this book, and there was something that happened, and I just had to read on. I couldn't stop because I'm just like, I can't put it down before I go to bed. I'll keep thinking about it, and so I just finished it. And this book was really good. I highly recommend this. The last question for this tag, number 15, Precognition, a book whose ending you were able to predict. And that is going to be Allegiant by Veronica Roth, the final book in the Divergent trilogy. Because I actually got spoiled for this one, but I still saw it coming, like even before I read the spoiler. But like I don't know, like just knowing the character, I kind of saw that coming. No spoilers here. But if you read this book, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So that was the Ion number 4 book tag. I hope you all enjoyed, and please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. And also, I will leave my social media links down below. And also, again, I will leave the link to the original post about this tag down below as well, so you can check that out. And I will see you soon.